Once again, I welcome to RM Classroom. So today I will discuss the clause related to the how to compute the equivalent shear and equivalent moment, and then I will discuss the limit state of collapse in compression, and then how to compute the axial load for the short column and long column, and what will be the expression for the axial load for the helical reinforcement, and then I will discuss the column is subjected to axial loading and uniaxial bending, and then column is subjected to axial loading and biaxial bending, and then I will discuss the how to compute the load carrying capacity for long column, and then I will also discuss the working stress method. In how working stress method I will discuss the what is modular ratio, and after that how to compute the load carrying capacity for the short column, long column, and with the helical reinforcement. So let us discuss the clause related to shear and torsion. So code says that the equivalent shear can be computed as Vu plus 1.6 Tu by B, where Vu is the nominal shear stress and Tu is the torsional moment. And equivalent nominal shear stress can be computed as, so we know that the nominal shear stress is can be computed as factored shear force divided by B into D, or here we can compute the equivalent shear divided by B into D. And when shear reinforcement is required in this case, so our equivalent nominal shear stress greater than the shear strength of concrete, and this equivalent shear stress should be less than maximum shear strength of concrete. If it will exceed, then we have to redesign the section, as I told you, as I discussed in the previous lecture. So similarly, the reinforcement in member subjected to torsion, so the longitudinal reinforcement shall be computed to resist the equivalent bending moment, or equivalent moment can be computed as sum of bending moment at the cross section and MT. So here the expression of MT, that is Tu by 1.7 into 1 plus capital D by B, where Tu is the torsional moment, D is the overall depth of the beam. And code says that if MT is greater than Mu, so longitudinal reinforcement shall be provided on the flexure completion face, such that the beam can also withstand an equivalent moment that is given by the difference between the torsional moment minus ultimate moment. So here the transverse reinforcement can be computed by this expression. Clause 14.1.4.3 says that ASV is equal to Tu into SV divided by B1 D1 0.87 Fy plus Vu into SV by 2.5 D1 into 0.87 Fy. But total transverse reinforcement shall not be less than this value. And where the Tu is the torsional moment, Vu is the shear force, and SV is the spacing of the tied up reinforcement. B1 is the center to center distance between corner bars in the direction of width, and D1 is the center to center distance between the corner bars. Tau V is the equivalent shear stress, and tau C is the shear strength of concrete. So how to compute this B1 and D1? So let us assume B is the width and capital D is the overall depth. So B minus 2 into nominal cover minus main longitudinal diameter. Similarly, D1 can be computed as total depth minus 2 into nominal cover minus main longitudinal diameter. If Mu is greater than MT, no need to design tension reinforcement on compression side. Similarly, the minimum shear reinforcement can be computed as ASB divided by BSB greater than equal to tau V minus tau C divided by 0.87 Fy. Similarly, the maximum spacing of transverse reinforcement shall not exceed x1 or x1 plus y1 by 4 or 300 mm. So what is x1 y1? So x1 is b1 plus phi main plus phi shear reinforcement. Similarly, y1 can be computed as d1 plus diameter of the main reinforcement plus diameter of the shear reinforcement. And b1 d1, I have already told you that b minus 2 minus nominal cover minus diameter of the main reinforcement, and similarly d minus 2 into nominal cover minus diameter of the main reinforcement. So let us take one problem. At the limit state of collapse on a RC beam is subjected to a flexural moment of 200 kilonewton meter, and shear force is 20 kilonewton and torque is 9 kilonewton meter. The beam is 300 mm wide, has a gross depth of 425 mm with an equivalent cover of 25 mm. The equivalent nominal shear stress as calculated by using the design code turns out to be lesser than the design shear strength of concrete. So what is the equivalent shear force is? So equivalent shear can be computed as I told you. Equivalent shear force VE is equal to VU plus 1.6 TU by B. So shear force is given, factored shear force, that is 20 kilonewton. So it will be 20 plus 1.6 into torsional moment. So TU is given 9 kilonewton meter. So it will be 9 divided by width. So width is given, that is 300 mm wide. So it will be 0.3 meter. So if I compute the equivalent shear, so it will be 20 plus 1.6 into TU, 9 divided by 0.3. So it is 68 kilonewton. 68 kilonewton. 68 kilonewton. So if I see the option, so D option is correct. The equivalent shear is 68 kilonewton. In the second part, the equivalent flexural moment for designing the longitudinal tension reinforcement. So ME can be computed as equivalent flexural moment. ME is equal to MU plus MT, or it can be written as MU plus TU by 1.7 into 1 plus capital D by B. So can be written as factor moment is given, that is flexural moment is 200 kilonewton meter. So 200 plus TU is 9 kilonewton meter. So 9 divided by 1.7, 1 plus overall depth of the beam is given, that is 425 mm. So 425 divided by width. Width of the beam is 300 mm. So it will be 300 mm. So it can be computed as equivalent moment. Equivalent moment is 200 plus 9 divided by 1.7 into 1 plus 425 by 300. 425 by 300. So the equivalent moment is, and this value is 9 divided by 1.7 into 1 plus 425 divided by 300. So it is 12.79. 200 plus 12.79. So it is 212.79 kilonewton meter. So it is 212 means 213 kilonewton meter. D option is correct. It is approximately 213 kilonewton meter. Let us take another problem. So a rectangular beam of width 200 mm and effective depth is 300 mm is subjected to limit state shear of 80 kilonewton. Width of the beam is 200 mm, effective depth is 300 mm, subjected to a limit state shear force. VU is 80 kilonewton and torsional moment is 6 kilonewton meter. The equivalent value of shear. So equivalent shear stress, equivalent shear is equal to VU plus 1.6 TU by B. So it will be VU is 80 plus 1.6 into torsional moment is 6 kilonewton meter. So 6 divided by width of the beam is 200 mm. So it is 0.2 meter. So the value will be 80 plus 1.6 into 6 divided by 0.2. So it will be 128 kilonewton. 128 kilonewton. So if I see the option, so A option is correct. Equivalent value of shear will be 128 kilonewton. So let us discuss the limit state of collapse compression. So whatever we have taken the assumption in addition to that assumption of the limit state of collapse, the maximum compressive strain in concrete in axial compression is taken as 0.002. So the maximum compressive strain in axial compression is taken as 0.002, and the maximum compressive strain at the highly compressed extreme fiber in concrete subjected to axial compression and bending when there is no tension on the section shall be 0.0035 minus 0.75 times the strain at the least compressed extreme fiber, and short axially loaded member in compression. So now I am going to discuss the short axially loaded member in compression. So in limit state method, when the minimum eccentricity does not exceed 0.05 times the lateral dimension, means minimum eccentricity is either less than 0.05 B or D, then axially loaded members or axial load on the member can be computed by this formula. But remember in mind that this formula is applicable when the minimum eccentricity is less than 0.05 B or 0.05 D. Our expression of minimum eccentricity we have already discussed in the last class, that is L by 500 plus B or D by 30, where AC is the area of concrete, ASC is the area of longitudinal reinforcement of the column. When the value of eccentricity is greater than 0.05 B or D, then this formula can be written. Similarly, compression member with helical reinforcement. So for the helical reinforcement, the axial load is increased by 5%. So we can write PU is equal to 1.05 0.4 FCK AC plus 0.75 FY into ASC. Here 0.4 FCK plus 0.67 FY into ASC. Similarly, the ratio of the volume of helical reinforcement to the volume of core shall not be less than this value, 0.36 FCK by FY, AG by AC minus 1, where AG is the gross area of the section, AC is the area of core of the helical reinforcement column measured outside of the helix, and Fy is the characteristic strength of the helical reinforcement but not exceed 415 Newton per meter square. So we can write 0.36 FCK by Fy, AG by AC minus 1 should be less than VH by VC, where VH is the volume of helix and VC is the volume of core. So let us take a rectangular column section of 250 mm by 400 mm is reinforced with 5 steel bars of grade Fe 500 each of 20 mm diameter. Concrete mix is M30, axial load in the column section with minimum eccentricity as per IS 456-2000. Using limit state method can be applied up to this value. So we have to find the axial load, and here the minimum eccentricity is followed by IS 456. So the axial load PU is equal to 0.4 FCK AC plus 0.67 Fy into ASC. So the PU can be written as 0.4 into grade of concrete is M30. So it will be M30 into AC. AC can be written as AG minus ASC. It can be written as AG minus ASC plus 0.67 Fy into ASC. Gross area can be computed as, gross area will be 250 by 400. So the gross area will be 250 by 400 mm. So it will be 250 into 400. So it is 250 mm square. Similarly, ASC can be computed as, so the reinforcement is given, it is axial load in column section with minimum eccentricity and 20 mm diameter, 5 bars of 20 mm diameter. So it will be 5 into pi by 4 into 20 whole square. So it will be 500 pi 1570.8 mm square. So AG minus ASC can be computed as minus 1570.8. So it is 98429.2 mm square. Put the value of this in the, let us assume this is equation first. So the axial load can be computed as 0.4 into FCK into 0.4 FCK into AG minus ASC. So it will be 98429.2 98429.2 plus 0.67 into 500 into ASC. So the value of ASC is 1570.8. 1570.8. So the load carrying capacity can be computed as 0.4 into 30 into 98429.2 plus 0.67 into 500 into 1570.8. So it will be 1707368.4 Newton. So if I convert in kilonewton divide by 1000, so it will be 1707.37 kilonewton. So if I see the option 1707.37, so A option is correct. Let us take the another problem. An RC short column with 300 mm by 300 mm square cross section is made by M20 grade of concrete and 4 numbers 20 mm diameter longitudinal bars of Fe415 steel. It is under the action of concentric axial compressive load, ignoring the reduction of the area of concrete due to steel bars. The ultimate axial load carrying capacity of the column. So here can be computed Pu is equal to 0.4 FCK AC plus 0.67 Fy into ASC, because here I am assuming that E minimum is less than 0.05 B or D, because E minimum cannot be computed because length is not given. So here the question is, it is given that it is under the action of concentric axial compression, ignoring the reduction of the area of concrete. So due to steel bars, so it can be written as AC can be written AG minus ASC 0.4 FCK AG minus ASC plus 0.67 Fy into ASC, and here we have to ignore the value. So 0.4 into FCK, grade of concrete is M20, so it will be M20 into AG plus 0.67 into 415 into ASC. So AG can be computed as, it is 300 mm by 300 mm. So 300 by 300, so it will be mm square, and ASC can be computed as, so it is 4 number of bars of 20 mm diameter. So 4 into pi by 4 into 20 whole square. So it will be 1256.64 mm square. Put the value of AG and ASC. So PU is equal to 0.4 into 20 into plus 0.67 into 415 into ASC. The value of ASC 1256.64. 1256.64. So it will be 0.4 into 20 into plus 0.67 into 415 into 1256.64. So it is coming 1069408.75 Newton. So if I convert, so it will be 1069.409 kilonewton. So it will be 1069 kilonewton. D option is correct. This question is asked in engineering services examination. The ultimate load carrying capacity of a short circular column with 300 mm diameter with 1% of helical reinforcement of Fe415 grade of steel and M20 grade of concrete. So the diameter of the column is 300 mm. So AG gross area can be computed as pi by 4 into 300 whole square. So it will be 0.25 into pi into 300 whole square. So it will be 70685.83 mm square. ASC is 1%, so it will be 1 by 100 into 70685.83. So it will be 706.86 mm square. Now ultimate your axial load can be computed as PU is equal to 0.4 FCK into AC plus 0.67 into Fy into ASC. So the axial load can be computed here. So yeah, I have computed that is 756.374 kilonewton. But here is a helical reinforcement, so we have to increase the value by 5%. So the PU for helical reinforcement PU is equal to 1.05 times 756.374. So it will be 1.05 into 756. So it is 794 kilonewton. 794 kilonewton. Increase value 5%. So here the D option is correct. So D option is correct. Now I am going to discuss the members subjected to combined axial load and uniaxial bending. So if a column is to be designed for axial load PU and moment MU, then interaction diagram are used as per SP16. And what is SP16? So it is a code design aids for reinforced concrete IS 456-1978. This is the SP interaction curve, or this is the SP16. So with the help of the different P by FCK value and the y-axis it is PU by FCK BD, and on the x-axis it is MU by FCK BD square. So and for the different value of D dash by capital D or D dash by B, we will select a curve and accordingly we can compute the value. So it is a graphical representation between the Pu by FCK BD to the x-axis Mu by FCK BD squared. And the zone is, there are three zones. So in this case, when the member is subjected to combined axial load and uniaxial bending, so firstly we have to compute the value of y-intercept, that is Pu by FCK BD, that is y value, and calculate Mu by FCK BD square, that is x value, and read the value of P by FCK, percentage of reinforcement divided by FCK. Let us assume I am telling this value is K. Get percentage of steel, that is P is equal to K times FCK, and P is equal, can be written as 100 AST by BD. So with the help of that we can compute the ASC, and design of stirrup is same as whatever we have discussed earlier. This is the interaction curve. So interaction curve, as I told you that on the y-axis the value will be Pu by FCK BD, and x-axis it is Mu by FCK BD square. And there is a three region. This region is called minimum eccentricity region. This is the compression control region and tension control region. And this value is called, this axis is called zero eccentricity value, or this is the value of PUZ. The expression of PUZ I have already discussed, that is 0.45 FCK AC plus 0.75 FY ASC. Similarly, here we can see the member subjected to combined axial and biaxial bending. So if a column is subjected to axial load Pu and moment about XX axis and YY axis are also there. So moment about XX, that is MUX, and this value should not be less than the minimum moment about XX. And what is the minimum moment? So that is the axial load into E minimum about XX. And minimum eccentricity can be computed as Lx by 500 plus D by 30 or 20 mm, whichever is more. Similarly, the moment about YY axis, that is MUY, and this MUY value should not be less than Mu minimum YY, where Mu minimum YY is Pu into E minimum YY, and minimum eccentricity about YY, that is Ly by 500 or plus B by 30 or 20 mm, whichever is more. So in this case, when column is subjected to axial loading and biaxial bending, so column is considered safe if MUX by MUX1 to the power alpha n plus MUY by MUY1 to the power alpha n is less than equal to 1. Now what is alpha n? So alpha n is a component exponent, and that depends on the ratio of Pu by Puz. So alpha n is an exponent depending upon the value of Pu by Puz. An expression of Puz, as I told you, that 0.45 FCK AC plus 0.75 ASC. And the value of this alpha n is when the Pu by Puz is less than equal to 0.2, so the value is unity, and when the value of Pu by Puz lies between 0.2 to 0.8, the value of alpha n lies between 1 to 2, and when Pu by Puz is greater than equal to 0.8, so the value of alpha will be 2. So here I have written that when Pu by Puz is less than equal to 0.2, so the value of alpha n is 1, and when it lies between 0.2 to 0.8, the value of alpha n will lies between 1 to 2, and greater than 0.8, so the value is 2. And Pu we can compute. So MUX1, how to compute this MUX1 or MUY1? So this MUX1 or MUY1 can be computed with the help of interaction curve. So how to get the value of MUX1? So for the MUX1, for a given column B by D, select a percentage of steel P, and using D dash by capital D and Fy, select the curve and calculate the value of Pu by FCK BD, that is Y value, and P by FCK. With the help of this, select a curve and read the value of Mu by FCK BD square. Let us assume the value is x1. So here Mu can be computed as x1 into FCK BD square, and this Mu will be the MUX1. Similarly, here we can see that for the value of Pu by FCK BD and P by FCK, we have selected, let us assume this curve is selected, and with the help of this curve and Pu by FCK BD value, we have read the value of x1. And x1 is, what is x1? So x1 is on the x-intercept, that is Mu by FCK BD square, and here MUX or MUX1 can be written as x1 into FCK BD square. Similarly, we can compute the value of MUY1 also. So here we can see that this is MUY1 can be computed as minimum uniaxial moment capacity about YY. So compute the D dash by B and Fy. Select the curve, same procedure, PU by FCK BD and P by FCK value. Select a curve and compute the value of MU by FCK dB square. That is, let us say it is x2. So MU can be computed as x2 into FCK dB square, and this value will be MUY1. Once we have computed the MUX1, MUY1, so we can check MUX by MUX1 to the power alpha n plus MUY divided by MUY1 to the power alpha n less than equal to 1, then it is safe. This is valid for the short column. And so what will be the condition for the long column? So to consider the effect of slenderness, some additional moment are added to give given design moment. An additional moment in x direction and y direction can be computed as, that is, MAX and MAY. MAX is the PU by 2000 LEX by D whole square. Similarly, the additional moment in y direction is PUB by 2000 into LEY by B ka whole square, where LEX is the effective length in respect to the major axis and LEY is the effective length in respect to the minor axis, and B is the width of the member and D is the overall depth. So the design moment about XX axis for the long column, that is MUX plus MAX, where MAX is the additional moment, and about YY it will be MUY plus MAY. And for the check for the long column, so it will be MUX plus design moment divided by MUX1 plus design moment in y direction divided by MUY1 to the power alpha and less than equal to 1. Once again, MUX1 and MUY1 can be computed with the same way whatever I have discussed from the interaction curve. And MUX plus MA additional moment we have already computed or suggested by the expression of additional moment in x and y direction suggested by the IS code. So let us take the problem related to this interaction curve. So an RC column of a square cross section 400 mm by 400 mm has its column load moment interaction diagram as shown in the figure below. So here we can see that this axis, this value is PU by FCK BD, and on the x axis it is MU by FCK BD square, and the interaction curve is given and the value is given at PU by FCK value BD value, that is 0.2. The value of MU by FCK BD square is 0.3. So what is the maximum uniaxial eccentricity at which a factor load PU is 640 kilonewton can be applied safely? Take FCK value is 20 megapascal. So PU by FCK BD, PU by FCK BD, if I compute the value of PU by FCK BD, so PU is given, that is 640 kilonewton. So 640 kilonewton divided by FCK value is 20 into B. The value of B is 400 mm by 400 mm. So it will be 400 by 400 and it is kilonewton. So if I convert in Newton, compute the value of PU by FCK BD. So it is 640 into 10 to the power 3 divided by 20 into 400 square. So it is coming 0.2. 0.2. So with the help of this 0.2 value, we can read the value of MU by FCK BD square. So at PU by FCK BD value, that is 0.2, we can read the value, that is MU by FCK BD square. So MU by FCK BD square value is 0.3. So we can compute MU. So MU is 0.3 FCK BD square. So the value of MU is 0.3 into FCK value is, here the grade of concrete is 20 Newton per mm square, 20 into BD square. So it will be BD square. So it will be 400 into 400 square. So the value will be so 0.3 into 20 into 0.4 into 400 square. So it will be 4000 Newton meter, or if I convert in kilonewton meter, so it will be 384 kilonewton meter. So what we have to find? Eccentricity. What is the maximum uniaxial eccentricity? So eccentricity can be computed as eccentricity E is equal to mu by pu. So it will be 384 divided by pu. Pu is 640 kilonewton. So 640 kilonewton. So 384 divided by 640. So it is 0.6 meter. 0.6 meter, or we can write 600 mm. So the eccentricity is 600 mm. Which of the following are the additional moments considered for design of cylinder compression member in X and Y direction? This question is asked in ESE 2005. So we have seen that additional moment in X direction, that is MAX is equal to PU D by 2000 LEX by D whole square. So it will be PU into D divided by 2000 into LEX whole square divided by D square. So we can write PU divided by 2000 D into LEX whole square. So if I see the option, so it will be PU LEX whole square divided by 2000 D. Similarly, additional moment in Y direction, MAY is equal to PU into B divided by 2000 into effective length in minor direction divided by B whole square. So it will be PU into LEY whole square divided by 2000 B. So if I see the option, PU into LEX whole square divided by 2000 B and 2000 D or B. So it will be C option is correct. Similarly, structural design working stress method. So I will discuss the modular ratio. Modular ratio is the ratio of Young's modulus of elasticity of steel to that of concrete. Let us assume the Young's modulus of elasticity of steel is denoted by ES and modulus of elasticity of concrete is EC. And we know that the modulus of elasticity of steel is 2 into 10 to the power 5. So it can be written as 2 into 10 to the power 5 divided by Young's modulus of elasticity of concrete. And we have discussed that modulus of elasticity of concrete suggested by code IS 456, that is 5000 square root of FCK for the short term Young's modulus, and for the long term it is 5000 square root of FCK divided by 1 plus theta, where theta is the creep coefficient that depends on the age of loading. So here I have written short term value of M, that is 2 into 10 to the power 5 divided by 5000 square root of FCK, and long term value means put the value of Young's modulus of elasticity of concrete for long term, that is 5000 square root of FCK divided by 1 plus theta, where theta is the creep coefficient. But code suggested the value of M, that is 280 by 3 sigma CBC, where sigma CBC is the permissible compressive stress due to bending in concrete in Newton per mm square. And code also suggested the value of sigma CBC for different grade of concrete, like for M15 the value of sigma CBC is 5 Newton per mm square, for M20 it is 7 Newton per mm square. Similarly, code suggested here we can see that the value of sigma CBC for M15 it is 5, M20 it is 7, M25 8.5, 30 for 10 Newton per mm square. For M35 grade of concrete it is 11.5 Newton per mm square, and M40 it is 13 Newton per mm square. So let us take the for M20 grade of concrete. So what will be the value of sigma CBC? That is 7. So short term modular ratio can be computed as 2 into 10 to the power 5 divided by 5000 square root of FCK, and the value of FCK is 20 Newton per mm square. So it is coming 8.94. Similarly, long term value can be computed as 2 into 10 to the power 5 divided by 5000 square root of FCK into 1 plus 2.2. So for it will be 28.62. Similarly, the value suggested by IS code, that is 280 by 3 sigma CBC, it is 13.33. So we can see that the value is in between the short term and long term effect of creep. So here we can see that for the calculation or for this value suggested by code, the partial consideration of effect of creep is taken in this formula 280 by 3 sigma CBC. So the value of M suggested by code have partial consideration of effect of creep. Similarly, permissible load in compression member by working stress method can be computed as P is equal to sigma Cc into Ac plus sigma Sc into Asc, where sigma Cc is the permissible stress in concrete in direct compression, Ac is the cross-sectional area of concrete, sigma Sc is the permissible compressive stress for column bars, and Asc is the cross-sectional area of the longitudinal steel. And here for the short column, so short column with helical reinforcement, so here the just increase the value by 5%, that is the P can be written as 1.05 times sigma CCAC plus sigma SC into SC. And for the long column, we have to multiply this value by a reduction coefficient, that is called CR, and the expression of this reduction coefficient is 1.25 minus L effective divided by 48B. So here the CR is the code suggested by the expression of reduction coefficient, but this reduction coefficient is multiplied by the axial load carrying capacity when the column is long. So it is 1.25 minus L effective by 48B, where B is the least lateral dimension of the column. For column with helical reinforcement, B is the diameter of the core. And for irregular shape, or we can see that the ratio of effective length to the least lateral radius of gyration exceed the value of 40, then for more exact calculation, CR can be computed as by this expression, where I minimum is the minimum least radius of gyration or minimum radius of gyration. So let us take the one problem related to this. So the reduction coefficient of a reinforced concrete column with an effective length of 4.8 meter and size of the column is given 250 mm by 300 mm. So L effective is equal to 4.8 meter. Size of the column is given. Size of column, that is 250 mm divided by 300 mm. So reduction coefficient can be computed as reduction coefficient CR is 1.25 minus L effective divided by 48 into least lateral dimension. So it will be B. So we can write CR is equal to 1.25 minus L effective. L effective is given, that is 4.8 meter. So 4800 divided by 48 into B. The value of B is 250. So it is 250. So it will be 1.25 minus 4800 divided by 48 into 250. So it is 0.85. So the value of reduction coefficient is 0.85. B option is correct.